You're listening to Roundtable Radio. This is 10-Minute Words with Morgan. Today's topic, should zoo animals be banned? Yes, we're going to go through all the reasons why zoos are cruel and should not be a thing anymore. A couple things throughout the school. Student council elections are happening in September. Keep an eye out for that. Please enjoy this podcast, and we will get right to it in about 20 seconds. Hello everyone, welcome to Roundtable Radio. I am Morgan Herod, and you are listening to 10-Minute Words with Morgan. So today's topic is, should zoos be banned? Now this topic is not talked about often, so that's why I really want to talk about it, because I did some research beforehand, and it's really sad, and it's just disappointing what happens with these animals. Once you really think about it, the concept of zoos is just so wrong. It's so cruel to take animals from their homes so unexpectedly. So these helpless animals that can't talk, can't advocate for themselves, it's basically the equivalent of taking a baby away from its home. Because they're helpless. They can't do anything to help themselves in their situation. So you're taking these helpless animals and you're putting them in cages with other animals. And their cages are thousands and thousands and thousands times less space than they would have in the wild. I think I remember reading that tigers and lions, their cages are 18,000 times less space than they would have in the wild. It's insane. And they're literally put on display for humans to come in as they please and just watch them. And if you really think about what they go through, a lot of kids go to zoos, so they're constantly having little kids bang on their windows and scream at them and shout at them and have people just constantly watching them all day. And it's just wrong. Why do we feel the need? What's so interesting about going to a zoo and just watching animals just sit? It's not even their natural habitat. I'd much rather go on a safari. I know it's a little bit harder to access, but I'd much rather go on a safari and see animals in their natural habitats acting as they normally would than see an animal with anxiety pacing back and forth because it's so nervous because it's trapped in a tiny, tiny cage. It's so infuriating what these animals go through because it's just not right. And if it were humans, if this were to happen to humans and someone said, hey, we're creating a zoo for humans, come in and just watch some humans give us your money to watch some humans, that would be shut down like that. That would be shut down so fast because it's inhumane. So why are we doing something that would be terrible for humans? Why are we doing that to animals? What's the difference between human and animals? I don't get it. You're not allowed to hit a person or abuse a little kid, so why do we do it to animals? What's the difference? Their lives are so pure and they're so innocent and they never did anything to us, and we just take them and we turn their lives upside down for money. Literally, it's just all for money, and it's really selfish because we are taking poor little animals out of everything they've known simply to make money. It's so selfish, and it's so cruel, and I'm so surprised that they haven't been shut down already, because there were lots of articles that were saying the National Animal Humane Society, something like that, they know what's going on, yet it hasn't been shut down yet. So that's something that kind of surprises me. So they have no freedom, like I said, and the one thing that's also bad is that once they're put in zoos, which is a lot of times at a very young age, they can't be let out because they have everything in their life has been given to them. They haven't had to hunt for food. They haven't, had to deal with other animals that could be vicious or hurt them. So they don't know how to find food. They don't know how to protect themselves from wild animals. So it's a good thing, I guess, in a way, zoos have a positive effect because the animals don't have to worry about not finding food or dealing with other cruel animals. But in return, you can't let that animal out into the wild again. So basically, their whole life, they're just going to be going from zoo to zoo, and they're never going to have a normal life. They're going to spend their whole life with anxiety and sadness and confusion and pain. And it's just terrible. I hate it. They have no room to run, like I said. Their cages are tiny. I know I spent a lot of time on that, so I'm just going to kind of let that one go. It's terrible. I think I read that like 100+ animals died in 1 year. 1 year. More than 100 animals died. How are we not seeing that this is a bad thing when we have the statistics right in front of us? If you literally go into Google and say, why should zoos be banned or zoos banned, you will literally see all of this information pull up. It's right in front of our eye. Like, it's not hiding anywhere. No one's keeping it from us. So why are zoos still a thing? Why are we keeping animals in this pain if we know, if the scientists know, if the professionals know that it's a bad thing? Like, nothing positive comes from zoos. I guess technically, unless you're a hurt animal, then they take the animal in and help them heal, but they need to let them go after they're healed. And I mean, like I said, if we were humans, like, this would be shut down so quickly. So, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out what humans see as the difference between animals and ourselves. A large percentage of zoos, animals in zoos are shown to have behavioral problems. So, like I said, I think if you've seen like a tiger pacing back and forth in its cage when you go to the zoo, that's a sign of a behavioral problem because they're so nervous because they've been cruelly taken out of their home. Yeah, that's why they're pacing back and forth. That's why you never really see an animal laying down at the zoo, because they're so nervous that they're just pacing back and forth all day because their whole life's been turned around and humans don't care at all whatsoever. They also have shorter lifespans. So I think it was wild elephants that live 3 times longer in the wild than in zoos. Think about that. 3 times longer. That gives them so many more years to live a life that God put them on earth for. Like, 3 times longer. Like, this is so sad and so terrible. I can't even come up with words to explain how I'm feeling right now. Like, my sympathy for these animals is just blasting. Like, if I could go right now into all the zoos in the world and set all the animals free, I would, because this is terrible and we need to do something about it. And we really need to put the animals in our shoes, or we need to put ourselves in the animal's shoes, How would we how would you like as a baby to be taken from your parents, from your natural habitat, which is your house, and be put in a cage that's very small, no room to play, no room to do anything, and be there for the rest of your life, be beaten while trying to learn tricks that are hard and you don't want to do them, and, letting random strangers just look at you all day? How would we like that? We wouldn't like it at all. That's why we don't do it to humans. So what's the difference between humans and animals? It's mind-boggling. They also train to do tricks. Now, we know, okay, so for SeaWorld example, I know it's not a zoo per se, but it's basically the same concept. So for SeaWorld, why do we go to SeaWorld? We go to SeaWorld to do animals do tricks. That's what brings in the money. So you know that the training has to be very vigorous for the animals because they have to be perfect, because no one wants to see a sloppy zoo show. Like, I don't want to see a monkey failing at all of its tricks. No, because, they want to make money. So all of their abuse and everything they go through is simply for money. Like, it's really selfish that we are putting animals in pain. We are giving them anxiety just to get money. Like, it's really, really selfish. Animals need more freedom. Like, I don't understand why somehow animals are lower on, the list than humans. Like, we're both beings. Humans are technically animals. So, why are we putting animals through so much pain? 3,000 to 5,000 animals are killed each year in Europe zoos. That is so many, and it's solely for zoos. So, Why? I don't understand why. Someone answer me. So yeah, thank you for listening to this podcast, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let's try to save the animals, please. I hope this podcast maybe helps someone learn something about zoos and why they're so bad. Help me save the animals, and I will see you next Friday for podcast number 4. Thank you, guys.